Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today me and Kaylee are going to be going over 14 best things to do in the Dolomites.
We are so excited to share this video with you guys. The Dolomites is one of our favorite places on the planet. We are already planning a trip to go back.
Yeah.
And all of these things are just so beautiful. This guide is definitely geared more towards adventure lovers and hikers, and make sure to stay tuned until the end because you are not going to want to miss number one.
For those of you who don't know us, I'm David.
I'm Kaylee.
And we run a travel and adventure vlog called Made to Explore.
We are passionate about activities that get you outside and off the beaten path. We've got a ton of hiking, adventure travel, and van life. So if you are into that, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We would love to have you around for all of our future videos.
Starting off the list is Lago di Carezza. This is a beautiful lake. Very easy to access. It's just off the main highway and the water is a stunning color and the backdrop is incredible.
So this is not a destination that we'd recommend for avid hikers. We got there and we were kind of like, oh, there's not a huge hiking trail or anything like that here. It's more of a drive up photo spot, but it is very beautiful.
Recommend getting there early to avoid the crowds because it does get really busy really quickly.
Number 13 on the list is Lago di Sorapis.
This hike is well known for the light blue glacier-fed lake at the base of a beautiful mountain backdrop. It is so blue. It is 11.6 kilometers and 460 meters of elevation gain, and Kaylee and I actually took the wrong route up. We took the harder route, and there is another easier one on the other side of the coulee that goes up.
Yes, you want to take trail 415. We took 416 or 417, I can't remember, and we gained like all of the elevation over less than a kilometer. Don't want to do that one. You want to take the more gradual trail.
Or you could do a loop and take the easier way up and then take the quick drop down if you wanted to. Yeah.
When we visited in September, quite a lot of the lake was dried up. So it's actually quite a large lake, but when we visited, there was not very much water in it. We don't know if it's like that every fall or if it was just a particularly dry year. But some benefits of visiting in the fall are that the whole lake is surrounded by larches. So if you get there during large season, it could be absolutely stunning.
We were a little bit too early for that, unfortunately. Next up on the list is Geisler Alm.
This hike is 7.5 kilometers and 400 meters of elevation gain, and it brings you to an absolutely stunning meadow. This is kind of the quintessential picture of the Dolomites. It's got the rolling meadows, a mountain hut, crazy peaks in the background. You definitely do not want to miss it. You can actually stop in at this hut. I believe that they're open from 9 to 5 though, so if you go later, you can't stop in for dinner. But they do have a pretty cool patio there where you can look out over the view, or you can walk around and explore.
There are so many scenic photo spots. Some of them are just a little bit away from the restaurant. There are some wooden chairs where you can sit and just relax and enjoy the stunning view.
This one also has a lot of different trails that you can take up to the hut and back down. You can make it longer into a loop, but the 7.5 kilometer trail is the shortest one that you can take. We do have an Italy travel guide for adventure lovers that covers all of our favorite places in Italy. From the best hikes in the Dolomites to renting your own boat to explore the Amalfi Coast, this guide has everything you need to know. Covering places like Venice, Rome, Florence, Cinque Terre, Amalfi, Capri, and the Dolomites in detail, let us take care of all of the research so that all you have to do is show up and enjoy. We have already got a ton of great feedback on this guide and cannot wait to share it with you. We will link it below. Make sure to check it out. Number 11 on the list is a stay at Naturhotel Leitlhof. This is such a cool hotel in the Dolomites.
Our favorite in Italy.
Yeah, it's amazing. The food is so good. The rooms are amazing. And they have a 3-story spa. So spas are a big thing in northern Italy. We were all about it. And you do not want to miss the pool and the spa at this hotel.
The perfect place to relax after spending all day hiking.
Absolutely. It's a really good way to treat yourself. A lot of these hotels too have something called half board, which means you get breakfast and dinner. And breakfast and dinner there were like buffet plus 3 courses. Like, it's amazing.
Well worth the money.
Yeah.
Number 10 on the list is Lago Fedèra. This hike is 8.4 kilometers and 500 meters of elevation gain. This was the first hike that we did in the Dolomites, and it really just blew us away. That's when we knew, we were like, wow, the Dolomites really can put out. Yeah. This is another one of the hikes that looks absolutely beautiful. If you get there during the larches, all around the lake will light up with orange. There is a small hut where you can grab a bite to eat or stay the night if you want to.
Yeah, it's also part of a larger loop trail that a lot of people do in this area, or you can do it as an out and back.
For this hike, you want to follow trail 434, and we would highly recommend doing the loop around the lake because the views from every angle are pretty stunning.
Number 9 on the list is Alpe di Siusi, or Geisler Alm. It has 2 different names. This is the highest alpine meadow in all of Europe, and the views here are absolutely gorgeous. Getting here can be a little bit tricky. So if you stay in one of the hotels right in this meadow, you actually can drive right in and you don't have to hike at all. You can just kind of hike from your hotel on numerous trails in the area. However, if you are not staying in the area, you have a few different options. You can get here by cable car, or if you drive up before 9 a.m., you can actually park at a place called Compatch. Then you can hike in. So this is the walk that we did. It's around 5 kilometers. It took about an hour.
Yeah.
And it's just along a road. So it's nothing major for elevation gain. It's super easy and super beautiful.
Yep. Number 8 on the list is Val di Funes. You've probably seen pictures of this location. It has a church and a beautiful green meadow, trees, and then a stunning mountain backdrop. It is a very popular spot for photographers, so be sure to get here really early or just before sunset if you want to get the best photos. The church in the meadow is called St. John's Church, and this isn't the only spot. There are tons of places to get beautiful photographs in this valley.
Yeah, this whole valley is like a postcard. You can drive around on the rolling hills. You can stop in at wineries or shops. There's some really good restaurants in the area, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Number 7 on the list is Hotel Col Alto. This is hands down the nicest hotel we've ever stayed at.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing. We had a sauna in our bathroom, guys. It was incredible. Yeah. And again, they do the buffet breakfast and dinner, which was like 3 courses, buffet salad bar, so good. They've got a pool, a full spa, and it's in a really convenient location as well.
Next up on the list is Seceda Ridge. This is probably one of the most picturesque places in Italy, and you've probably seen pictures of it. It lives up to the photos for sure. You can access this place by cable car almost all the way up, and then it's a short walk to the actual ridgeline where you can take photos. The gondola is only open until 5:30 p.m. So if you want to stay there for sunset, which would be stunning, we didn't do that because we had done a ton of hiking previously, so we rode the gondola. But you'd have to hike down because sunset is obviously going to be a lot later than 5:30.
The hike down would be 8.4 kilometers with about 1,300 meters of elevation loss. So if you are going to do that, make sure to bring a headlamp, poles, and good sturdy hiking boots. Number 5 is Gardena Pass. So you will actually drive through this pass a lot during your time in the Dolomites if you are going to a lot of these different locations. And just being up here is absolutely gorgeous.
It's hard not to stop, especially during sunset or sunrise.
Yeah, there are trails everywhere. With that being said, you do not have to hike to get a beautiful view. It connects Val Gardena and Val Badia, and parking here can be a little bit challenging. So if you're having a hard time finding a parking spot, you can always go into the Rifugio up there, have a drink or something to eat, and then you can use their parking lot and wander around afterwards.
Number 4 is Col de La Puina.
It gave us Cadini di Misurina vibes with absolutely no crowds.
Yeah.
We saw nobody else on this hike, and we had this beautiful ridgeline all to ourselves.
With a stunning sunset to top it off.
In total, this hike is 7.1 kilometers round trip with 565 meters of elevation gain. The first half is super easy, and the second half is a grind, guys.
Like this, yeah.
It's a grind, but it's so worth it. So make sure to go to both sides of the ridge because you get different views.
Yeah.
And we honestly didn't want to leave. We spent hours up there just admiring it and just taking it all in. And for us, part of the reason we go hiking is to get away from the crowds and have some peace and quiet. So this place really delivered on that. Number 3 is Lago di Braies. Now this is commonly nicknamed Lago de Instagram because it is so busy with photographers. With that being said, it's so beautiful.
Well worth it.
Yeah. So you want to get here super early, an hour before sunrise. It's really the best time to go. Anywhere along the shore, you're going to get really beautiful photos. If you want to get away from the crowds, there's a trail that goes all the way around the lake that not a lot of people take. So that's a really good way to get out on your own. Or you can rent a rowboat. So there is a place on the shore that rents these rowboats. They're super popular.
Yeah, very authentic. very heavy, very slow.
Yeah. And they're open at different times throughout the year, so you can just check their website. We'll link it below. We actually were the first people out on the rowboat, and that was another really nice way to enjoy the lake by yourself.
Pretty lucky.
Yeah.
Number 2 on the list is Tre Cime.
This is probably the most iconic hike in the Dolomites. It's absolutely stunning. Basically, what you do is a big 10-kilometer loop around 3 peaks that are really close together and very picturesque. In total, this trail has about 500 meters of elevation gain, and there are different huts that you can stop off along the way.
There are trails everywhere too, to different viewpoints, and they're all pretty stunning. So take your time, maybe do a little bit of research on what kind of views you are looking for before you hit this hike.
Yeah, we hiked counterclockwise, which seemed to be the direction that most people were going, and we preferred the views from the back. Near the end of the loop, there are a few small lakes that on a calm day you can get a really, really cool picture of the reflection. Getting here is a bit of a challenge, or at least it can be. So this is located in a place called Parco Naturale Tre Cime. It's a national park, and you do have to pay a €30 entrance fee per vehicle to get in, which is pretty steep. Now, we wanted to be there for sunrise, and word on the street was that the toll booth at the bottom of the park is open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., but sometimes they open a little bit early. It snowed the day that we went, and we were held up until 9 or 10 a.m. at the toll booth. We were the first people in line, and they were like, no, sorry, we're not open yet. They were waiting for the snow to melt off the road.
How disappointing is that? We had to wait 3 hours for this much snow to melt off the road. Drove me crazy. A little disappointed watching the sunrise from our car.
Yeah, David had a really hard time with that. So just keep that in mind. If you're visiting in the fall, you might be a little bit delayed due to weather. But we've also heard stories of people who drive up at 6 a.m., the gates open, and they just go. So.
Yeah, it's worth it.
And number 1 on the list of the best things to do in the Dolomites is Cadini di Misurina.
The view here is, oh my gosh, it's stunning. I could have sat here all day and looked at this view. It's accessible from the same parking lot, so you want to park here and obviously spend the good chunk of a morning, even into the afternoon, and do a ton of hiking in the area to make it worthwhile, since paying can be a little bit steep to get into this national park.
Yeah, a lot of people pay to go to Tre Cime and don't even realize that they can access Cadini di Misurina from the same parking lot.
The hiking distance for this is 3.2 kilometers and 235 meters of elevation gain.
It is not along the same trail as Tre Cime, so you'll be adding that total to the 10K loop at Tre Cime, but it is definitely worth a stop.
Yeah.
And we'd say go first. Go first to Cadini di Misurina, just because there's only one viewpoint basically there.
Yeah.
So it can get really lined up for people waiting to take photos, whereas at Tre Cime you can kind of walk around and spread out.
Yeah. The viewpoint's called the Flying Banana, where you walk out and get the good views. I would recommend bringing a zoom lens, also a drone. So much fun.
Yeah.
We hope you guys enjoyed our top 14 list of the best things you need to do in Dolomites. And if you are going on a trip soon, we hope you have a fantastic trip. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, and share if you found it useful.
And don't forget to check out our Italy travel guide. We've already got so much good feedback on it, and we really think that it'll make such a difference in your trip planning.
Definitely.
Thanks again for watching, and we will see you in the next one.
See you next week.